move on to our next team, which is the Indian Ocean SDG14 Action Group. This is a team of 4 Chevening alumni from Mauritius. Our presenter, actually, I've got 2 names down for both presenter and answering questions. So we have Marie Stephania Perrine and Joseph Jean Noel Jolicoeur. One, I assume, will be presenting and one will be answering questions. Over to you.
Good evening, everybody. So next slide, please. So sea level rise is a pressing threat to coastal communities in small island developing states, SIDS. According to IPCC projections, coastal regions in SIDS are likely to be exposed to high tide flooding, extreme weather events, habitat loss, shoreline erosion, increased salinity, and loss of beach area. Rodrigues, an outer island of the Republic of Mauritius, known for implementing bold and innovative initiatives such as the banning of non-biodegradable single-use plastic products to protect terrestrial and marine environment, is already being impacted by those changes. So, however, there is a gap in policies related to adaptation to sea level rise. There is therefore an urgency to come forward with adequate adaptation measures. To address the aforementioned challenges, our team is coming forward with a 20 years lifespan policy proposal entitled Integrating Sea Level Rise Adaptation into Coastal Planning Policies. Next slide. Our solutions will provide the need to create public and political awareness on the impact of sea level rise, because although Rodriguans perceive changes in climatic events, sea patterns, and physical aspects of coastal regions, they still engage in their daily routines and practices. Secondly, to the need to empower and train citizens to develop their adaptive capacity. Thirdly, the lack of collaboration between the government, local and international NGOs in view of supporting adaptation measures and encourage projects instigated at community level. Fourthly, the crucial need to preserve inherent sustainable habits of Rodriguans. And lastly, the need to implement planned socioeconomic development projects, mainly along coastal regions. Next slide, please. The intended impacts are increased awareness on sea level rise among Rodriguans. Secondly, enhanced knowledge so that Rodriguans can take ownership of adaptation initiatives at grassroots level. Thirdly, to preserve and ensure transmission of traditional ecological knowledge for adaptation to the younger generation. Fourthly, to bridge the data, knowledge, and skills gaps on sea level rise. To foster the creation of green and blue jobs. To encourage the adoption of pragmatic green alternatives like floating gardens and floating houses, amongst others. And lastly, to empower environmental NGOs to facilitate reskilling, upskilling, and shift towards alternative livelihoods. Next slide, please. To implement our policy, we shall firstly assess the damage caused by sea level rise in coastal communities by conducting impact assessments. Secondly, collaborate with the Rodrigues Council of Social Services, RCSS, which is an umbrella NGO regrouping the hundreds of village communities in Rodrigues. RCSS also acts as a bridge between the civil society and local government. As a strong partner, RCSS will help us conduct a needs assessment of what Rodriguans know and what they still need to learn regarding sea level rise. The needs assessment will help us prepare appropriate training programs with appropriate resource persons in view of building our citizens' resilience and knowledge. Thirdly, we shall collaborate with local artists to produce original, informative, and impactful media to disseminate information. Fourthly, we shall develop a curriculum around traditional ecological knowledge, for example, technical and vocational education training, TVET. So these learners will be trained on stone terracing, which is a traditional skill used to combat soil and sand erosion, and by extension, protecting from siltation. Lastly, we shall set up Action for Ocean School in primary, secondary, and TVET schools to instill a culture of protection, conservation, policy understanding in the younger generation. They will view protective and conservative actions as normal behavior and practices. Pro-environmental behavior will contribute to lifelong environmentally friendly practices. Emphasis will thus be put on sea protection through the learning of good protection practices and unlearning of bad ones. So the policy proposal thus intends to ensure a smooth transition into green and blue economy that is informed, equitable, economically and socially sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Really fascinating presentation there.